Why don't you spend the slow and hospitable time without thinking of your daily life in a historic house? In the middle of a small hill near Nishino Omote City Office, there is an old building built on the stone wall of coral. This is AKAOGI Castle Culture Tradition Hall Gessoutei. It has a long history. In those days, Mr. Tanegashima, who was descended from Heike, had governed this island, Tanegashima. In those days, Mr. Tanegashima, who was descended from Heike, had governed this island, Tanegashima.
One of the chief ministers supporting Mr. Tanegashima was Mr. Michikyo Habu. He is known as the person who edited the book Tanegashima Family Annual Events, summarized the culture of the Tanegashima family, and popularized the sericulture industry in Tanegashima Island. He was excellent in both literary and military arts. Gessoutei was built when Mr. Michikyo was 27 years old. It is near Akaogi, the castle of the Tanegashima family in those days, and the splendid stone wall is characteristic. Moreover, there is a big 200-year-old tree named Inumaki in the yard.
Mr. Shin-o Habu was a grandchild of Michikyo, who built Gessoutei. In the middle of Meiji era, he was a chairman of Ikenobo in Satsuma and Osumi, and Mr. Shin-o, who successively held important posts, such as the whole Japan chairman, had repeated practice of the tea ceremony and flower arrangement in this Gessoutei since he was a child. However, the base of Shin-o's life moved from Tanegashima to Kagoshima and to Tokyo with holding the important posts of Ikenobo. And only Gessoutei without a master has been remained there.
In Tanegashima, a new movement had started in the current of the new times of Meiji, exactly at the time. An activity that people connected with the Tanegashima family would be called back to this Tanegashima started in the return of the land and people from the feudal lords to the emperor. A line remains in the literature of those days. June 27, 1886, Mr. Moritoki, who was the family head of those days, was still young, and there was no place to go. Then, the retainer Mr. Jozo talked with the local people and decided to have Mr. Moritoki live in a retainer's house for a while, and they swore the prosperity of the Tanegashima family when the time came. At that time, a group which tried to welcome still young Mr. Moritoki Tanegashima was consisted of old vassals of the Tanegashima family, Tanegashima Support Group led by Mr. Jozo Maeda. And Mr. Moritoki Tanegashima was invited to live in Gessoutei on October 31st, 1886, and the new history started. After this, people in Tanegashima called Gessoutei Oyashiki. That means the place where a Mr. lives, and have valued as the pride and strong emotional attachment of this island for a long time.
And after being used as a residence of the Tanegashima family till 2000, it came to be used as a scientific library for passing down Tanegashima's culture to future generations from April 2002. The name of Gessoutei originates from the title by Inte Gesso of Shin-o Habu, who had repeated practice of the tea ceremony and flower arrangement at this place. Moreover, they put their hope into it. The hope was not only existing as mere cultural asset, but also continuing as a place of the social meeting place to pass down the Tanegashima's culture to future generations. Therefore, the name of AKAOGI Castle Culture Tradition Hall was named after the name of the cultural center, AKAOGI Castle.
One of the Tanegashima family treasures decorated in Gessoutei is the doll of Miss Yamanoi. This Miss Yamanoi is a historical doll passed down to the Tanegashima family via the Tokugawa family and the Shimazu family. It is treated carefully the same as a human, changing clothes 2 times per year and giving a tea reception every morning and evening, etc. In addition to this, many goods related to the Habu family and the Tanegashima family, such as the portrait of the Shin-O Habu, replicas of a matchlock, armors, a book about the art of flower arrangement passed down by the Habu family are decorated.
Moreover, in Gessoutei, the reception activities by a local volunteer organization, Meeting of the One Leaf Party, are performed. I would like people who come to Gessoutei to spend the fulfilling time. In such a feeling, the room is decorating with flowers of a field. We prepare delicious tea and are waiting for you.
Now, were you able to understand even a little bit about this Gessoutei? In addition to this, in the northern part of Tanegashima, there are a lot of places which have important cultural meanings. Since the pamphlet is also prepared, please ask a nearby guide. We wish you are satisfied with your time in Tanegashima more and more.